as we move to 157, where again there's 3 qualifiers, so got to win this one. Just reminding everybody, and then
nice
the consolation final. Good shot by Keating.
Beautiful shot.
2-0 lead.
Great finish too. Throwing the legs in, but really good job wrestling out of the legs by Ferrero.
Back on that number 2 at 141, Lachlan McNeil, 2-0 lead on Dylan Senadio.
Ferrero, a sophomore from Lake St. Louis, Missouri, Whitfield School. Redshirt season a year ago, finished 4-1. Helped lead Whitfield to 4 state titles as a team from 2018 to 2021. Finds himself down 2-0 here.
And again, folks, with 4 NCAA automatic qualifiers.
Doing a good job riding with that leg in. Keating is crossbody. Now, you see what he's doing there. If he goes back, he starts, if he does it again, I'll point it out, but he's looking for a bar or something else here. But what he was doing, he was taking his right hand, and if you look at Ferrero's right leg, it started to come up like he was bringing his knee towards his chest, just like that. Keating was taking his right hand and pushing the knee down so that way he couldn't bring it back up. And that's helping keep him flat. So every time he tries to bring that knee up, Keating was taking that right hand, pushing the knee back down. So he couldn't really work to rebuild his base. Now he's got a deep bar here. Looks like he might end up with the fall here. I think we're gonna end up with the fall.
But it was really close.
Really close. He might try and run it again, but it looked like he could have gotten it there.
Keating beat Casto 5-4, then fell to O'Connor, was pinned in 90 seconds.
Wow.
Yeah. Mr. O'Connor's the real deal.
Yeah, he's looked really good this year.
He's looked good his whole career.
Yeah. Well, he has, but last year, limited with his knee injury. And that's just kind of what I was referring to.
Right, yeah.
Just kind of, not that he didn't look good even with a limitation, but this year, I mean, compared to last, healthy, he looks phenomenal. He's a gritty guy, man. He's really tough. I remember the first year he won nationals, it was the ACC tournament, and I remember watching him after his ACC finals match do stance in motion and wrestle with somebody for like 15, 20 minutes. Yep, so they got the block thrown out here.
Looks like a fall. Yeah, there it is. You said there was going to be one, remember? I told you about the mock manifestation. You said there was one coming. So
they're not even going to review it, huh? Oh, they are. But yeah, back to what I was saying about O'Connor is I watched him do stance in motion and do more work after his finals match was over, and the finals were still continuing to go on. I'm like, yo, the tournament's over. Like, you have 2 weeks until the tournament. And he just proceeded to continue working, and I just remember thinking, like, that's what it takes, man.
Officials timeout on that 2. With the takedown, coming up as lead to 5-1, Logan Ferrero of North Carolina.
Let's see. So Keating's working to look for backs. Gets a 1 swipe, look a 2 swipe. I understand why, because for the first 2 swipes, it didn't look like his shoulders had broke 90 degrees. And the rule is, in order for you to get a swipe, your shoulders have to be past 90 degrees. And so if I'm the coach, and just from what that looks like from my perspective, it didn't look like it was beyond 90 degrees. And so challenging the first 2 swipes, the ref proceeded to let the wrestling continue, and eventually it broke 90 degrees. But I don't know if I agree that the first 2 were a count. Eventually he would have got it.
Challenge, yeah. Keep going here, huh?
Wow.
After video review, the call was overturned on mat number 1. There was indeed a legal decision after video review.
Yeah, so now we're just kind of sitting and waiting for the official review, but it looks like there's a penalty point awarded to Ferrero.
Now it's about checking the clock when it happened, right? And that's where they'll pick it up, I think.
Yep. So it looks like this match is still going on. Looks like we still got some wrestling to do here.
157. You've got 3. It'll be O'Connor taking on Andonian tonight, which will be outstanding. As we talked about the electricity Andonian brings, and it's one of only 2 where your alma mater is not featured. But Scott, your roommate,
Yep,
will take on Casto. So Scott.
Casto's who Keating beat in the morning rounds, correct?
Yeah.
Yeah, that was a good win by Keating over a guy who had beat him previously earlier in the season.
They're still behind us over on mat 2 as it's Badgett, it's Badgett and McLaren from Virginia.
Got it. So from what we understand, there was some sort of illegal motion that happened and led to the pin. And so this is where we're at. The illegal motion was awarded, a point was awarded to Ferrero for the illegal motion, and now we will continue to wrestle.
Good challenge by Duke. That's what the bricks are for. Well done.
Great call. Looking to suck him back. If Ferrero can get his left elbow inside of the leg and start dropping his hips and his shoulder, he could potentially get a reversal, but Keating's underneath his arm right now, and so I think Ferrero's trying to figure that out, trying to get his arm sealed off and start to dig underneath, but it's the end of the period, so we'll be going to the second with a score 2-1. Keating leading Ferrero.
Keating needs to shake it off, right? He was not happy with what was told to him. He wasn't happy. That's the best way to say it.
No, definitely not. I wouldn't have been either. You know, you think the match is over, like, all right, pack it up. Let's go get some
Done
food.
and dusted, but no, now he's got to keep on going. And we got a tight one here.
Yep.
With a lot on the line.
Yeah, not just that, but didn't even get back points.
Yeah. Great point. Yeah, I mean, it's 2-1. He's going to try to make it 3-1 if he can break through Ferrero.
Nice. Looking for a cow catcher. If he can sink his chest back, try and get his chest in front of the shoulder. Too late now.
4-1 lead now for Keating. I think Mach 2, even though they put all that time back on, they gave him the point. Man, I mean, Keating was wearing Ferrero out.
He absolutely was. And now it just kind of a loss of momentum, an opportunity for Ferrero to refocus and talk to his corner. Coaches are able to get back in his head and encourage him, get his mind right, reset him a little bit, and tell him, like, hey, we're still in this. Get ready, you know. And Keating, on the other side of the psychological aspect of an athlete, you're thinking, like, match is over. you don't think, okay, I hope that they don't call my pin. You're hoping that they call your pin. You're hoping that the match is over because you worked hard for that. And you don't know what they're going to say, but at the end of the day, you got to be mentally prepared for whatever it is.
I say.
You know, and so it just depends on where his head was at. And it looks like his head was in the right space, but you got to show back up.
You've spent a lot of time on today's broadcast. You've done a great job. It's been an honor to work with you. But you've talked about having the will and the heart, but wrestling also the mental part of it. I mean, let alone the, cutting weight and everything else. I mean, the mental part of wrestling at the elite level is really high, right?
Man, it's everything.
Yeah.
It's the most important aspect. I tell people all the time, a wholesome athlete is a good athlete. And what I mean by that is life outside of sport matters. It can be a distraction. So not only mentally do you want to try your best to be in a good place, but emotionally, psychologically, you want to have your ducks in a row as best as possible. You don't want to have to be stressing about other things, school now. Inevitably, life happens. And there's things that you're going to have to juggle and figure out when adversity hits. And that's just part of the sport of wrestling. And I think ultimately that's what is so beautiful about the sport of wrestling is it teaches you how to handle that adversity. Because situations like this you have to deal with. And then real life goes on in addition to you having to figure out this mental battle. So when you're done with wrestling, life all of a sudden feels a little bit easier.
Yeah, so well said, Mike. Treasure, man. And for you, I got to believe it's pretty cool to do this at a place that means so much to you, Reynolds.
Absolutely, man. And like I said, this is my first time calling an ACC tournament at all. And so it's pretty cool, man. Enjoying it.
The problem is, folks, every time he leaves, I mean, literally, maybe hundreds is exaggerating, but everybody stops the mock for a picture and photograph, hello, and you take time for all of them. As
I try, and the only reason that's happening is because we're in Raleigh.
Hockeyland won't do that?
Oh, no way, absolutely not. You might be getting like tripped or like pushed.
Look at Ferrero still trying to hang in there. It's 4-3 as we'll have the score updated.
Oh wow, good job hipping in. Now he's got it. He's thrusting his hips in. And he's doing a good job. Now, if he can use that right toe, I would try and go back to that same exact position that he was at. Get him flat. Now he's rebuilt his base back up. I don't know if he's going to get a turn now, but he had a real opportunity to potentially get some swipes there. He had him flat. He had his far side hip up off of the mat. He was pretty close. I give him a reversal.
And Keating comes right back.
6-3 with a score of 40 seconds left.
And reminding you that it'll be O'Connor and Andonian tonight at 7 o'clock with Sean and Rock. But there's 3 AQs. So, boy, I think about whoever wins this, and it probably will be Keating. I mean, there's a long bout, and he's going to have to get ready to go against most likely Scott, most likely your roommate, although you never know. I mean, Casto could surprise us.
Yeah, Castro's got some good ability, but one thing that he'll have to have wrestling at is he's going to have that ability for a full 7 minutes. Yeah. And I think we saw some of that against Keating a little bit. Keating kind of dug deep, and Castro was still wrestling tough, but I think Keating just capitalized on an error and took advantage of the opportunity.
Well, Keating wins it. We'll find out later if he takes on Scott, and we'll find out later if Scott makes it 9 as NC State will have to do some math, but they definitely have